What's good? Welcome to Flip the Culture Podcast, where the culture don't change until we do. Hey, it's your boy Josiah Kenty, man. We back with another episode 2. Dos. The identity shift, man. This is where we're going to talk about who am I without the game. Bottom line, transitions are going to happen. And I want you to start thinking about transitions a little bit different, okay? Let's simplify life. That's all I'm here to do is help you simplify life, bro. We're going to get to the real. We're going to get to the raw. We just going to get to the stuff that people don't want to talk about. And the people that talk about things, and it's like, bro, you don't understand where I'm coming from. Because it's a lot of people that try to give guidance to athletes. And like, bro, I know you ain't been there before, bro. I know you haven't been there before, so how are you going to tell me where to go? You see what I'm saying? It's like the blind leading the blind, man. So I'm here to help you out within this transition, bro, because I know it can be tough, man. I know it is. And there's no timeline to this transition, bro. I'll be naive to think and tell you that I'm not currently transitioning myself. It's just I've got over that threshold of initially starting that transitional journey, man. So I want you to start thinking about transition a little bit different. We're going to talk about 3 different things today. We're going to talk about the life transition, right? Then we're going to talk about anticipated transitions and then also unanticipated transitions. All right. So it's going to be life transitions. It's going to be anticipated transitions, and there's also going to be unanticipated transitions. Now, these life transitions are like marriage, kids, new job. It's just things that you expect out of life, right? These new opportunities come, and then you capitalize on it. And then you have your anticipated transitions like graduation, right? You graduate high school, you go to college, then you know you're on this projected timeline to get this thing done. This is where you anticipate a transition from happening. You have a projected outcome, you eventually end up getting it, right? And then you have untimely transitions. This is where death, like untimely death, right? Illnesses or injury may come, right? But the number one thing to start thinking about, think about this, is that you have 2 perspectives when you think about sports, and some sports may vary, but by and large, you have somebody on offense, you have somebody on defense, you have somebody that wants to score, and you also have somebody that is stopping that person from scoring on them. I just got inducted into the Hall of Fame for modern day fitness, right, in the 2025 class, and this was something that I was not expecting. I'm going to be real, man. I ended up seeing my trainer at a book signing that I had where I gave back to the population of athletes that I grew up from, right? This organization, I would not be in the position I am now unless it was for them, okay? So when I think about how I wanted to give back, I didn't think that they were going to give back to me anymore. It's like if they didn't give anything else to me, bro, like I'm straight. You know, you get inside those positions where it's like, man, I'm content. Like I know how much you've given to me, and anything over that, man, it's like you living in this overflow. You feel me? So for them to honor me in that positioning, I'm like, bro, like this is wild, right? And I'm gonna get into a little bit of just like the emotion. So I want to publicly thank them, Modern Day Fitness, Miss Nadia, and also Coach Otis Leverett. I just want to thank you guys on a public platform on just how impactful you guys have been inside of my life, and just seeing how you all's impact has compounded over the years. There's still athletes that need help. There's still athletes that need guidance, and anything that I can do to help that's just where all of this came from, man. Just flip the culture. It's the things that I've gotten since I was like 5 years old, and trying to make sense of the people and trying to give back to people that haven't had the experiences that I had. So this is what this flip the culture thing is all about, is just reinventing a creative way to get the message out of the impact that I've had inside of my personal life, right? So there was this quote that my trainer ended up communicating to me through a T-shirt. And it was after I tore my ACL, LCL, MCL, and partial meniscus tear. And this quote was, "I was thrown to the wolves, but I returned leading the pack." And when he gave me that shirt with those letters on it, it didn't mean much then. Because, you know, those cliche sayings, it's like, hey, if you believe you can achieve. You have all these different things that society throws out there. And it sounded good in that moment, but I didn't understand the true impact of what it actually meant inside of my life. I was thrown to the wolves and I returned leading the pack. I realized that somewhere along the journey, the wolves stopped chasing me, man. And you know, when you're thrown into a situation, a lot of times your first thing is fight or flight. And I had fight in me, but it's like, bro, I don't want to fight that. Like when you think about it, bro, when you talk about weights, I was able to push weights off my chest. I was able to work out my muscles to pure just exhaustion and giving out. Like I'm like, bro, I would rather die on this field, bro. Like unless somebody pulled me off of this field, I'm going to run through this opposition like I feared no man. But when you talk about life, bro, like life has a funny way of exposing some things inside of you that you didn't know exist. And if you did know it existed, you ran away from those things that exposed you. And that's one thing about life, is that I couldn't run away from my injury, because on top of that, it brought out the self-doubt that I had. Like I didn't know I had it, because it's like, bro, like people praise big hits. I get a big hit, people just think I don't fear anything. But then I started getting self-doubt come in and anxiety come in. I'm like, bro, what is this? Like, this ain't me. But it's starting exposing some things that this immediate gratification through the game would suppress, because I had people that would praise the highs inside of my life, and it provided me an outlet to forget about my lows. So I'm learning about what it means to be thrown to the wolves and return leading the pack. And then somewhere along the journey, the wolves stopped chasing me. And then I felt like I was alone. But through healing in a renewed perspective, I found out that the wolves were no longer chasing me, but they were following me. I realized after healing that the wolves that I felt like were there to harm me started following me. And I knew then that I had evolved. I hadn't just survived. And I want to encourage athletes to understand that you're more powerful than your limits expose you to be. You're more powerful than your limits expose you to be. You are not your limits. You are not your frustrations. Like if you're frustrated, bro, good. That means you care and you give a darn about your life, bro. Like it's almost like you miss a tackle and then somebody come in, hey, it's okay. No, it ain't okay. Bro, just scored. That's not what I prepared for. Like I started looking inside my life and I had to look in the mirror and say, bro, you are an athlete, bro. Like my mentality on how I let life evolve around me, my life evolved and revolved around the sport. They taught me that. You taught me not to have a plan B. You taught me how to be responsible through the game of football. You taught me that if I made bad grades, I was going to get a punishment on the football field. You taught me that if I didn't execute in life, I was going to see the consequences inside the sport. So my parent, in a sense, became the sport. It guided me through tough times. Like when I wanted to slap somebody inside the school, I said, hey, my coach said, hey, bro, don't do it here. Save it for the football field. So I learned self-regulation through that. So now since I'm living in life and now I can't wait to the football field to invoke bodily harm to somebody, get praised for it and not go to jail for it, and now I can't do it no more. What does that look like for me, bro? Like, what does that look like for me? You told me that you told me through your actions to put it inside this game. Everything positive, negative, my whole being was inside of the lines of this game. And now that it's gone, you're telling me to do a plan B. Nah, bro, my job can't provide that for me, bro. Nah, fam, I can't feed my family because for some reason the educational system didn't provide financial literacy to me, and now I can't provide for my family because I made mistakes through getting NIL deals and having all these different money advancements towards me, but I didn't know how to make it work for me. And now I'm inside of this position where I felt like now football was a distraction, but I love it still, and it's a part of my identity. So now what do? There's a frustration there. So the remedy to a lot of the things that I was feeling inside of this transitional phase, it's not a quick fix thing, bro. Like, you just can't tell me, hey, man, life going to be okay. You just need to create a plan B. Forget about football. It was good during that time, and then you just no, bro. No. So now I had to start thinking about football in a different lens to where I still played the game mentally, but physically I'm executing in things that provides that same type of chemical response to my heart. Cause, bro, I like I told y'all in the last episode, bro, I embrace the love of the game until it started not loving me back. And I felt like I was breaking up from a toxic relationship. And initially it wasn't toxic. It provided me everything I ever needed. My relationship with God survived inside those lines. Like, I'm being real, bro. I would be making deals with God and be like, hey, bro, if you provide me with a game-saving touchdown, or you do X, Y, and Z for me, you give me an interception on this game, bro, because I know I work hard for it, bro. And you provide that for me, bro. Yeah, I go to church Sunday. Yeah, I say no to that girl. But a lot of times, bro, when we make deals with God like that, bro, we very seldomly make do on our deal. Like we don't come through on our side of the deal a lot of times, bro. And when I started realizing that, I started contaminating my life because of illogical thinking. It wasn't logical. It was illogical thinking. I had to shift my way of thinking and how I was thinking about the game. So where I started with that is understanding that where to position certain people inside of my life. I had to understand where to position certain people inside my life. And a lot of times, man, I'm going to be real, bro. One thing about me is, like, if you cross certain lines, bro, I just want to be like, man, bump that. Your imperfections and all that can stay on that side of the field, bro. Like, you a op. But one thing that I'm growing through right now is understanding that just because somebody has an imperfection that you don't want to deal with right now, the value doesn't disappear. Maybe they're in the wrong positioning inside of your life. And one thing that my dad told me is how to position a fan inside of your life. Not one of them fans like boots on the ground, like nothing. Nah, bro, I'm talking about fans. And it was an acronym that my dad, described to me from a fan standpoint, is fickle and nasty. A fan means fickle and nasty, meaning that if you get high, they gonna be high, and your successes is gonna be their successes too. But you get low, things not going the way it's supposed to, they're gonna have everything to say inside the world, calling you out your name, saying that you suck, saying that you're not the person that should have been recruited by this franchise, by this organization. They need to, like, who got him on scholarship, right? Who started him over this guy? Like, do we have another buy? Now you're disowning everything that you said you supported. So fickle and nasty. That's what fans are. And we all do it. Like, let's think about it, bro. Like, something not going your way and you feel like you have sweat equity inside of the team, and you're believing in it. Like, you get an emotional tie. But one thing that athletes have to understand is that they can't get swayed by the perspective of a fan. Because if you have the same perspective as a fan, you won't be able to execute as a player. And with transitioning inside of life, you are the player in your own game. Those fans that supported you or supported what you could have done on the field, just know their positioning inside of your life is different. They're going to be fickle, meaning that when things are going good, they're going to say, I believe that you can always do it. Good. I'm glad that you say that you can believe. But that's not going to stop, or that's not going to propel me to do anything in life that I have a plan to execute anyway. Because it's going to be executed with or without you. Next man up. Next goal up. So when you think about that, just know there's going to be people that support you inside of seasons. There's going to be a season. Dang, that's good. It's going to be a season for support systems to be in place. And that placeholder is going to be different in different seasons. Just like there's bandwagoners inside of life. Inside of sports, there's going to be bandwagoners inside of your life too. But it's okay. It doesn't stop anything. That horse ain't going to stop. It's going to keep going. You hear me? A famous theologian said that one time. Yeah. So I understood that fans have a certain place. When you think about the game of football, for example, they're literally teaching us and they're teaching you how to ignore transitions inside of your life. Take it for example. You're watching a game on ESPN, right? Timeout happens. What happens on your screen? Goes to commercial. A quarter ends. Goes to commercial. 2-minute warning. Goes to commercial. Halftime. Goes to commercial. While the fans that's actually there, they experience a band playing or some kind of halftime show, right? Third quarter. Commercial. Fourth quarter. End the game. So you have all these different transitions that happen within the game, even after a touchdown. Commercial. So you have all these different transitions that happen inside the game. And life is teaching us how to ignore transitions and expect a projected outcome anyway. So what happens is there's different transitions that happen inside of your life that's going to require your attention. But life and entertainment industry is teaching us how not to give your attention to transitions, because transitions are not pretty. Transitions take thought. It takes preparation. And even inside of a transition, it's going to take preparation before the transition actually happens. Because if you transition from a timeout, there's something inside that coach's lens that said, I need to call a timeout so I can put something on the field that's worth executing. So you need a plan before you actually go out there and transition. So what we're understanding life to be is that we're expecting the next level to happen inside of our life without planning properly inside of our transition. Same thing with scoring a touchdown. You can score a touchdown. The fans on one side going to cheer. They go, yeah, he did a good job. And then the fans on the other side, boo, take him out the game. It's his fault. It's her fault. But me being a DB, I'm looking at that cornerback and I'm looking at the safety. I can see that it's a cover two based upon my lens. I know that it's a cover two, and I can see that right now just because the cornerback was looking like he was trailing this wide receiver that just hit a go route, and the safety for some reason didn't get over the top to help that cornerback. The crowd is going to think that it's the cornerback's job to not get scored on. They're going to start booing the cornerback. But before in front of on that field, the cornerback and the safety know that it was the safety's fault. But from everybody else's perspective that wasn't there in the game planning and understanding the strategy, they're going to think that it's the cornerback's fault. But it's not. It was cover two. The safety wasn't there. He was out of position. So knowing that the fans are out of position, of having an opinion, you're out of position. You don't know. And you mad. Looking for somebody to blame. But the people on the field that's in that film room studying and knowing what's supposed to happen, you know the truth. So when you're thinking about transitions inside of your life, we have to think about what our positioning is. In order to understand what the transition looks like, we have to get more information about the transition. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. We need more information about life transitions. If it's about finances, find somebody that's an expert inside of finances about the transition from college into the real world, the transition from high school into the real world. What does that look like for me to be a model citizen? So as an athlete, your biggest asset is your hunger for information. Just like you put on that film, just like you envision yourself making a play before it actually happens, you have to do that inside of your life too. My relationship with God got stronger when I started envisioning God with a football inside of his hands. Because from a mentality of being a DB, I knew that my mentality was to see a ball and I got to go get that ball. So whatever God got inside of his hands, bro, I have to seek and go find it. I have to go seek and I got to go find it, and I got to see what it's all about, bro. That's how life, that's how I got to view life. Anything that I go after, it has a football inside of his hands. Anything I go after and it say life want to throw that ball, I know where I'm supposed to be, and I got to meet that ball where it is and snag it out of the air. Because as a safety, my position was don't let anybody get behind me. And a lot of times when I let things get behind me from a safety position, I was out of position to begin with. I got out of my back pedal too slow. I didn't speed turn when I was supposed to. I was playing coverage when I was supposed to play man. Like, I have to understand all these different things about my life as it pertains to football concepts. And that's when I started being successful. So one thing about flipping the culture is it means that you're shifting from a performance-based identity into a purpose-based identity. It's no longer about performance. It's about purpose. Because when you pursue performance, you're looking for the validation of acceptance from outside influences. So when you're going after your goals, it needs to be after a purpose. And you might ask me, like, what is my purpose, bro? It's to impact people. Simplify it. Impact people, to serve people. I'll wait. After this question, I'll wait. Name one job that does not serve people in any way. I want you to tell me one job, one profession. Put it in the comments. I don't care if it's a desk worker. I don't care if you code. Any job is designed to impact people. So when you're trying to find your identity, don't go from a performance-based identity. Go for a purpose-based identity. It's different. Same results. Flip the culture, where the culture don't change until we do. It's your boy Josiah, your host of Overtime. Stay tapped in. Episode 3 on the way. You heard me.